Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store for such products like the Blue Yeti microphone, affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and I've talked a lot about the Me Too movement and Harvey Weinstein and a lot of other things in the mix, and truth be told, a lot of you guys don't care anymore. That's abundantly clear, as the videos I tend to put out get less and less views. And I'm just saying that's just a natural course of it. But this one I wanted to cover because this is interesting. This is going beyond just the accusations being levied at somebody and having their career being affected by that. This is going to the point of where, like, oh, somebody disagrees with me? Yeah, let's start an online petition to get them removed from a movie. Yeah, how's that for a rational society? So it says here, Matt Damon's opinions on sexual harassment inspire calls from cutting him from Ocean's 8. Now, I saw the trailer for Ocean's 8. I don't think he'd be worse off if they cut him. It says here that just that's a quick thing on the Ocean's 8 thing. I'm sorry. So it's a movie about female empowerment starring 8 women and clearly a spinoff from the Ocean's 11 franchise, directed by a man. Just thought that was funny, and co-written by a man. Same guy, but I just find that funny. Anyway, Matt Damon's comments about sexual abuse in the entertainment industry have officially landed him in more hot water. Since he voiced his thoughts, activists have started a petition on a social networking site, Care2, to have his cameo cut from the star-studded Sandra Bullock-led Ocean's 8. The petition, directed towards Ocean 8 producers George Clooney and Steven Soderbergh, has over 13,000 signatures supporting Matt Damon's removal from the film. One article I saw, when looking this whole thing up, says it has 13 million signatures. So there's a few 3 O's exactly that were added to that one. Now, in the petition, Damon's interview, where he said he works with people accused of sexual assault on a case-by-case basis, or he says he'd work with people, is being cited and described as gross. But let's think about that for a second. So we know that, like, TJ Miller was accused. Him and his wife came out and said, no, this girl is cray. We knew her from college. She tried this stuff back then. Comedy Central pulled this show. We're hearing comments about pulling him from Deadpool 2 and replacing him with Christopher Plummer, which, I mean, look, as far as the joke is concerned, it is perfect and they should totally do it. But that being said, at the same time, you know, there's an accusation. Accusations aren't proof of anything. We know this from how due process works and how you need evidence and everything else. Now, he says you handle it on a case-by-case basis, and ultimately, yeah, you should, because that's how these things go. When you start lumping everyone together into a group and you start calling everyone something based upon a group and you're identifying them based upon a group, you can kind of see where this whole thing is going. And then yesterday I reported on the new kind of sexual misconduct commission that's been formed in Hollywood, that it feels like McCarthyism 2.0. It's very much going down the same pathway. And this kind of petition is very much an offshoot of that extremely dangerous mentality. Now, it says here that Damon's inclusion in the movie would trivialize the serious nature of the charges against sexual abusers like Weinstein, a show of massive disrespect for the brave women speaking out. Is it, though? I mean, at some point, you have to be able to separate the artist from the art. You know, their opinion from what they do. I mean, we do this all the time. If you go see a Tom Cruise movie but are absolutely against Scientology, and yet you support this petition, you're kind of a hypocrite. You know, I mean, if you go and you buy a Chris Brown album while also supporting Rihanna and not ever being beaten again, you're kind of a hypocrite. I mean, that's part of it. You know, people separate the art from the artist. It's one of the reasons why Roman Polanski still works in Hollywood, even though that in and of itself is a whole weird tale. But we have to be able to separate everything and work on a case-by-case basis, because that is, unfortunately, well, no, that's just how things have to be. Now, the note also says keeping Damon in the movie would lack of accountability for sexual harassment in the workplace that 4 in 10 American women experience. Yes, but has Matt Damon been the person to commit that sexual harassment? You know what I mean? Like, has he been the person? No. I don't know, maybe he has at some point. We have no idea. But in this particular context, no. He simply voiced his opinion about how maybe you should take this on a case-by-case basis and not try to, you know, blanket sweep all of Hollywood. And that's just goes to show you how fragile the egos are of these people that are in the process of coming into power in this particular discussion. Again, kind of frightening. One of the 47-year-old actor's recent controversial comments was, we're going to have, there's a difference between, patting someone on the butt and rape or child molestation, right? Which, yes, there is. Maybe not the most coherent way of saying it, or maybe not the most good way of saying it, but at the same time, it ultimately boils down to the fact that that's what he said. And again, yeah, there's a difference between patting someone on the butt and molesting a child. Huge difference. Not saying either one are good, because they're not, clearly. But again, it's kind of like the severity of the crime comes into play. That's why, again, you need this element of due process that for some reason is just dead. He added, both of those behaviors need to be confronted and eradicated without question, but they shouldn't be conflated, right? Yeah, absolutely. It says, although he denies it, Damon allegedly helped kill a Harvey Weinstein harassment story that was due to come out in 2004. But he has admitted that he knew Weinstein harassed actress Gwyneth Paltrow decades ago and continued to work with them. And the thing is, though, see, that line right there is kind of funny to me, because it's like, well, I knew this person, they go, oh, he knew this person was a jerk, but they continue to work with them. You're going to be hard pressed to find people in Hollywood who don't have some form of a sordid history or some form of accusation. I mean, where we're going right now with all this stuff is literally going to end up blowing up in everyone's face, because all it's going to take is for one woman on that commission to have a story come out, to have not, maybe not even evidence, but just an accusation. And that's going to blow it all apart, because they're going to be the infighting. Well, there's no evidence of this. I denied it. Well, ooh, yeah, you denied it. But, we didn't really kind of investigate anyone else, so we kind of ran out of systems. So, see you later. That sort of thing. But let's take a look at the petition here itself. Pardon the formatting. Care to sucks in terms of all that. So it says, sexual harassment isn't a joke. Remove Matt Damon from Ocean's 8. So the all-female reboot of Ocean's 8 was supposed to be an empowering film for women. The movie spotlights the talents of its tremendous female cast and showcase the savvy and prowess of its characters. As I originally pointed out, still written and directed by a man. But that was before allegations that Matt Damon, who has a well-publicized cameo in Ocean's 8, not only ignored but enabled his friend Harvey Weinstein's inappropriate behavior by trying to squash a New York Times report in 2004 that detailed instances where Weinstein had used his position as a high-powered studio executive to harass and even assault women. Again, that is really stretching this thing here, because not only, just so you know, this particular report, the one that they're saying that he helped shut down, reportedly Russell Crowe was also involved in that as well. So I mean, like, you don't know if this is true or not true. Again, this is an accusation that was made. He has since denied it. And what do you do at that point? Well, you don't have evidence, so you can kind of disregard it because there's no evidence there. But we don't live in a trust but verify world. We live in a listen and believe world, especially when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I wouldn't really be surprised if this has an impact if it gets a lot bigger. Now, it goes on to say that Damon also gave an interview where he said he'd still work with people who had been accused of sexual misconduct on a case-by-case basis. This behavior is beyond enabling. It's just gross. Matt Damon should not be in this movie. Well, Rebecca G., who the hell are you to determine who works and who doesn't work in Hollywood, right? Like, if you just go out there and accuse anyone all willy-nilly and it destroys their life and it turns out they didn't do it, then is that acceptable? Is that okay? Is that right? Is that fair? Of course not. Of course not. The quote, Cenk Uygur, who, by the way, has his own situation right now too. But the thing is that we have to look at this on a case-by-case basis, because that is how the courts would approach it, right? The courts would approach it based upon evidence gained, witness testimony, all those sort of things. That's how the courts would approach it. But when you don't do that, when you go and, you just want to blanket boot everybody out, it just, no one wins. No one wins, period, because it could happen to you next. What if I were to come out and say, Rebecca G., you assaulted someone or something? Clearly hypothetical, but it's like, if I said that, could you refute it? The evidence at that point would be on to you to refute it, right? Or no, the evidence would be on for me to present it, but in this almost like post-accusation era, it gets switched around. It's on to you to prove your innocence rather than me to prove your guilt. That's what I'm talking about here. That's the whole situation, is when we operate like that, nobody wins. Damon's inclusion would trivialize the serious nature of the charges against sexual abusers like Weinstein, show massive disrespect for the brave women speaking out. It would also send a terrible message about the inevitability and lack of accountability of sexual harassment in the workplace that 4 in 10 women in America experience. I'm calling on Ocean's 8 producers George Clooney and Steven Soderbergh to toss Damon's Ocean's 8 cameo where it belongs, on the cutting room floor. Will you support me? And now they've actually got 17,000. So, and, you know, again, just kind of, you know, the accusations that could have the potential to destroy someone's career, who ultimately did nothing wrong and did nothing other than suggest that maybe these things be looked at on a case-by-case basis rather than a blanket assessment and also blanket judgment. Damn Matt Damon, right? I mean, this is the thing. This is the world that's being created, and I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to stop it other than speaking out against it. I'm totally for sexual harassment being ended. I'm totally for you know, these any abuser to be put behind bars and to be punished adequately. But when we start becoming judge, jury, and executioner based upon an accusation that doesn't have any evidence to support it, what kind of society are we? Now, right now, no one cares about that. And I've talked about that multiple times. No one cares. They don't care. Why would they? But when it comes for them, because it inevitably will, then they'll care. But by that point, will it just be too late? Right? And that's a question I have for you. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments below. My name, of course, is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel. If you haven't already, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, check back often for more content from me. And if you're, you know, you want to see more content, you can do so right now.